Hi, welcome to Christine's Corner. I have here with me Peter Peluso. He's been here many times. I thank you again for coming back.
Anytime.
You always bring us different themes and composers. Can you tell us who you're doing today?
Okay, today I'm going to play some pieces from the glory, what I call the golden age or the glory days of the accordion in this country, because that was roughly between starting in around 1900 and around to 1970, and then it's kind of started dropping off. The popularity of the instrument dropped off. And I'm featuring 4 very well-known accordionists. Again, they're not household words, but people who play the accordion will recognize these names.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one I want to do is his name is Guido Darrow. He was mostly in vaudeville, and very well. He was like a rock star in his day. In this day, because he was one of the few accordionists that actually played the Palace in New York City, which was like the epitome of vaudeville. If you played the Palace, you were me who made it. But he wrote a lot of pieces that he played. And this one, the first one I'd like to do is a Tango Toccini by Guido Darrow.
Okay. Wow. I could just see somebody doing the tango.
Of course.
Yeah,
and a lot of his pieces were danceable, even though they didn't dance in the theater, but but if they were written for that in mind. One of the other things that was unusual, we wouldn't think of this when we think of vaudeville. We always think of the comedians and the dancers and the singers, but there were instrumentalists. There's always a spot for an instrumentalist, and when it was an accordionist, and one of the things that he also did was, and we don't think of it, is he played a march.
He played a march.
Marches were, and this is one of the ones that he wrote. It's called the Brighton Bush March, and it sounds like this.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a very upbeat march.
This is it, you know,
Yeah,
and it was the marches were very popular, and accordionists would play them on the vaudeville circuit.
Oh, I didn't know
Well, that's in the early days. Another vaudeville player that eventually went into radio, as well as composing pieces for the accordion that were a little bit more extensive, more concert-like. Okay, this one was also very popular with all instruments at this particular point in time. It's the Carnival of Venice.
Oh.
Okay, and which was a theme and then you'd have the theme, and then they wrote variations on that melody. So this is, and his name was Pietro Frosini. Very big, very skilled player. Recorded a lot on records, 78s, of course.
Oh God, I haven't heard that. 78.
But here we go. This is the Carnival of Venice.
I have one question before you
Sure.
start. I don't mean to interrupt you. It almost sounds like when I'm on the carousel.
Right.
Is it these? It sounds
It's
like
kind of like that. Yeah, it is that kind of music. Yeah.
interesting.
Okay. Anyway, Carnival of Venice by Pietro Frosini.
Wow. Wow.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost like it tells a story, all these.
Yeah.
And when you think accordion, for me anyway, I don't know how about out there, that you think polka and that's it.
Right.
And you don't think like these different sounds. That every song you've played is different.
This was a heyday. They wanted to go into these gentlemen go take the accordion into a whole nother outside the ethnic and the polka and the Italian music, which is fine, which is nothing wrong with that. But it was just they wanted to make it a little respectable, concertized, that as a concert instrument like the other instruments. Exactly.
That's very, very unique.
Yeah. The next person I liked is Gallerini. Gallerini actually was from Manchester, Connecticut.
Wow.
Yeah, he made it onto the vaudeville circuit with his family, and then went into really big stuff. He wrote a couple of concertos for accordion and orchestra. I mean, he wrote some heavy duty stuff, and his arrangements can be really hard. Yeah. So, but
That's good. You can play it for us.
but and this one did this is entitled. It's a pop tune from that era, the Darktown Strutters Balls. It's called. It's very very well known. And he did it in two ways. So you'll hear their theme through the song played pretty much now, and then with all his embellishments, which is pretty kind of jazzy. So Darktown Strutters Ball, arranged by Gallerini.
Okay. Wow, that was short.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this one's a little shorter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was. As you can see, it's it's incorporating more jazzier style into his arrangement.
I have to ask you a question before you start the next one. I'm sorry, because the title of the couple of songs back it said Carnival.
Yeah.
Were many accordions at carnivals long?
Oh, sure. The accordion was very, very popular because it's portable. It doesn't need electricity. You can take it and play it anywhere.
There's a big battery in there?
No. I mean, we have microphones now that we can plug into amplifiers and sound systems. Yeah. But generally speaking, it can play just fine without any amplification. And of course, and it was, and especially on the vaudeville circuit, a lot of groups had their own accordionists come and accompany them if they were singers or dancers, and because it's. Yeah, I think it was, and of course, the immigration that was coming in at that point was Italian and Polish, Irish. It's where the accordion is very much part of the culture. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit. Okay, to one of my favorite his name was Charlie Mignotti. Very, very big, especially here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
You know, he lived in New York City for years, performed extensively, wrote extensively, had his own radio show.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. So, and one of
talented.
the series that he had, publishing wise, was as you can see, and it says "Smiles" is the name of the next song.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
and it's the easy version. Then later on, he has what they call the virtuoso version, where it gets from really good. Okay, and he did a number of pieces like this. These were all pop tunes during the day.
Oh, pop tunes?
At the time. So
It's hard to
these are also
pop when you
like
it's accordion.
I know when you think popular, you don't think.
right.
Unfortunately, that's why I say it only went up to about 1970, and then it kind of
That's too
because
bad.
it wasn't used in popular music, for a long time.
Oh, that's
Or
true.
now it's used maybe as a color, but it doesn't. It's not, well, except for Weird Al Yankovic.
Who can forget him?
Yeah. So anyway, this is entitled "Smiles,"
Smiles.
and the arrangement is by Charlie Mignotti.
Okay. Very pretty.
Yeah. And I like to, end with my last
like a
number.
little lullaby.
It's called "Dark Eyes," and this is something was another instrumentalist played this. This was a very, very well-known tune in all this period, and again it's a kind of a theme in variations. You'll hear all different types of different takes on the melody. Okay, and this is recorded by Charlie Mignotti, and this has also probably been something that you might have heard at vaudeville.
Okay.
He didn't play in vaudeville. He got his start on the ferry boats. That's where when he was a young man. When he was a young man, he played on the ferry boats for money. So then he, of course, he went on to whatever it is. Anyway, this is "Dark Eyes."
Okay. Ah,
Yeah, that's great.
so very strong and
It's just, and it's
Yeah.
concert. He's, it takes it almost into the concert venue, and which is what he did, which
Yeah.
is, as well as doing things that are more popular, but something like that. But that was a very, very, like the Carnival of Venice. That was also very, very. If you were an accordion player, you played
Right.
some version of Dark Eyes. Oh yeah, we had a lot of different versions. I happened to find this one, so I think we got a bit.
Oh, we have 1 minute.
Yeah,
Wow.
so, yeah, it goes fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
having a good time.
It's been great. So that's what was going on. That's kind of, and I feel honored to have been part of that. I started lessons in 1952, 53, somewhere in there. So I was kind of right in the middle of all that.
Wow, right.
And that's when these guys were all alive and they're all
couple
doing their
of
thing.
decades.
Yeah, and it's but it's unfortunately the instrument fell out of popularity. Well, they wanted to be guitar players.
Oh, there you go. And then they plug them in.
And it went with the it went with the music of the times, and
Yeah.
so but
Maybe
once in a while you hear a group uses it
Yeah.
use an accordion.
Well, you're in a group. You're the conductor of the accordion.
Yes,
Group.
we have the Connecticut Association Accordion Orchestra,
Ah, see.
which is one of the few that is still going on,
Nice.
because there used to be something fairly common at one time.
Where do you play? What town?
We play all kinds of
Connecticut.
music,
Huh.
So we just did a concert down in the Pequot Library in Southport, and we played
you
big
played
band
all-
jazz,
Wow.
it's classical pieces,
Yeah.
some musical theater, and we did everything like what any pop's orchestra would do.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe someday we
Yeah.
can get to see a few of them anyway.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much again, Pete.
anytime, it was always a pleasure to come.
Always. I love how you play and
Oh,
very professional.
thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
great
you.
music.
It's great to be here.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for tuning in to Christine's Corner. Love you.